Hey guys, Jamie Otis here with the Chef's Connection. I'm just hanging out at Monument Lane here in the West Village. Gonna go chit chat with Executive Chef Steve Dustin, so come on in. And he rode his bike in here today, so I'm just curious, what is it like riding a motorcycle all the way throughout New York City?
Slightly terrifying.
Yeah.
It is a very exciting way to start your morning every day as you're heading into town.
So you don't need a cup of coffee because you get like all the adrenaline rush from riding your bike.
From shooting down the West Side Highway and then cruising up into Monument Lane.
And hoping that no cab is like, you know, cutting you off.
Right. And the scary thing is the regular drivers, not just the cab drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, sometimes people, they get this license and then they learn how to drive as they're, you know, after they get their license.
Right, the New Yorkers that are 30 years old be like, oh, I think I'm going to get my driver's license now.
Yes, exactly. So this restaurant is so incredibly cozy. It's, you know, it's a little piece of, almost, to me it feels so rustic and, you know, country almost in the midst of the West Village. Tell us a little bit about, you know, just the ambience here.
Well, it was originally started by Josh Frum. He started the place 2.5 years ago, and we found the spot here in the West Village, and we're basing everything on local and sustainable and organic products. And so everything from this tabletop is recycled wood to us going to the green market 4 times a week to get local produce and local meats and fish.
Wow, and you said it organic as well, so you like to...
We really strive for organic, and everything we possibly can get that would be organic, we try to get it.
I think that's so awesome because, you know, now I feel like with cancer and diabetes and obesity and all these things, it's so important to start thinking, you know, about what you're eating.
Food is a medicine, you know, prevention is always the best medicine, you know, so we serve really tasty stuff, but it also is, you know, stuff that's going to be good for you too.
Which is the best combination. You know you're eating healthy and it tastes really good. You can't go wrong.
I won't say that everything on the menu is healthy, but it is all natural stuff.
Hey, then that's healthy enough for me.
Us chefs do love our butter, so, you know.
So what is one of your favorite dishes that you've created here?
Well, one we just put on the menu a week and a half ago is a pork schnitzel. And so we're bringing in an eco-friendly pig. We break down the pigs here ourselves, and then we take the shoulder, we pound it out, bread it, and then fry it. And so you get this nice little crispy disc of pork, but it's coming with braised kale and a parsnip mash puree and a little bit of golden raisins and some spiced vinegar.
That sounds phenomenal. That must be one of the healthiest dishes.
That one is on the other side of the spectrum in the health factor, but we do have some healthy fish dishes as well.
No, but that's eco-friendly, and you break it down right here, so it's like right at the source. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, and our big thing here is the whole nose to tail and farm to table, and so we use every part of the animal, whether it's a lamb, whether it's a goat, whether it's a pig, you know, and I do find that the pigs, you usually can use most of everything that come with them. Versus any other animal. I think they're the most usable animal.
So what do you do with, let's say, you know, the pig's foot? Are you able to use that?
Well, yeah, we in the past have made croquettes. So we take the feet and we braise the feet down for a long period of time because it takes a long time to break them down. Then we pick them and then we form them into basically a log and then slice them and bread them and fry those. But we're using the pig's feet. We have a pig ear terrine on the menu right now. We do make head cheese. We do hog tail terrines, you know, all sorts of different charcuterie with the animal.
Wow, I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, that's really phenomenal. I feel like I love this vibe here because I feel like it's almost back to like primitive days, you know, and I feel like we need to be like that with global warming and everything that's going on in the world. It's so awesome that you're breaking it right down to the bare minimum here.
And well, that's the big thing too, is moved forward is a lot of the peasant food. You're bringing back ways to preserve items and use items for longer periods of time because you're using the pieces and the techniques to preserve them. Amazing
that you bring a full pig from the farm into your New York City kitchen. This is absolutely wild to me because I've never heard of this being done before. What is the process like?
Well, I mean, it could be a different size pig every week, you know, so we're getting 200 to 300 pound pigs. And basically they break them down into 4 quarters for me. So we're not carrying this whole 300 pound pig down because that's a lot of pig to be carrying for one person or 2 people, but they break them down into 4 pieces and then we lay them out on the table and we figure out for the week or the week and a half that we're going to use this, what's the game plan, how are we going to go about it. So like I mentioned, we make head cheese.
Which is, what is head cheese?
So head cheese is taking the head of a pig. You're basically braising the head of the pig until all the meat is cooked and nice and tender. You're not putting the brains in there. We're not putting the eyeballs in there. You know, it's mostly like the jowls, which is awesome, awesome meat. The snout, the ears, all the pieces of the head.
So it's just the pieces of the head. Then the head isn't necessarily.
No, the head itself isn't there. It's all the pieces and all the meat off of the head. And then you chop it up and you season it. We put like grainy mustard and parsley and thyme in it. And then you can set it into molds. And when it cools down, it firms up. And so you can just do slices of it cold, like on a charcuterie plate. So we do that one on our charcuterie plate. We also do it for brunch. We take pieces of it and bread it and fry it, and we have a Benedict. So we have a heritage pork Benedict. Instead of using English muffins, we're using fried head cheese.
Wow, that is so impressive. How do you even learn how to do that?
Friends. I mean, I did not go to culinary school, and so I learned from my peers and from the chefs that I work for, you know.
Wow, so you didn't even go to culinary school, and you happen to be an executive chef in one of the most highly talked about areas of New York City, the West Village. I mean, this is pretty phenomenal.
Well, I would say this is my 20th year anniversary from starting as a dishwasher and just working my way up and learning, and so working was my school. I always tell the kids, though, when they ask me, like, should I go to school, you know, if you're 18, 19 years old, go to school. Learn the vocabulary. Don't come out of there thinking you're a chef, but, you know, get a jump on the vocabulary and get a jump on the skills. But truly being in the kitchen and working in the kitchen, you're going to build your skill set.
You're not the only one who says that. We were talking to Andrew Carmelini, and he was saying the same thing. He was saying when he got out of school, he was making $10 an hour. Mm-hmm. You know, he said he didn't even really feel like he knew anything. He had to work in order to figure out what he was doing, and then slowly, and now he has 5 restaurants. So
right, and I totally agree. I mean, I don't think school's a bad thing. You should go to school, check out school, but I also think there's other ways to go about it. Yeah.
That's awesome, especially because I feel like some people, school isn't for them, and it's just not for them. They're not interested in going with the books and, you know, whatever, you know, culinary school consists of. No one wants that. They just, you know, some people don't want that. They want to just get right to business. And right. And like, so you're living proof that works. That's really awesome. I
definitely agree, because I did go to school for a year for chemistry and physics, and was like, I'm good at this, but I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. Well, let me tell you a little more about this pig real quick. So we have this whole pig in here. We've used the head. We've talked about the feet already. We've talked about using the tails to make terrines. We also make our own bacon here too. And so we take the big, beautiful bellies and we cure them for 10 days with salt and sugar. So you're removing all the moisture in your curing process. Then we wash that off and hang them for 18 hours so they get sticky. And then we smoke them downstairs in the kitchen. And so we serve homemade bacon here in the restaurant too.
Wow, you know, maybe sometime we could come in and watch what you're doing. Would you ever let us in?
Definitely. You guys will be welcome in the kitchen anytime you want to come.
That would be the most impressive thing, because I don't even know how bacon is made, and everyone loves bacon.
Bacon just tastes good. That's all we really need to know.
Yeah, but you know, it's interesting that you know like the steps to making bacon and how to take down this 300 pound pig and, you know, turn it into food in several different meals.
It's a good thing to have, so I'll never go hungry, that's for sure.
Yeah, you and your wife won't either, and your little puppies, your little kids, they won't go hungry either.
Those are probably the 2 most spoiled dogs in the city for all of the bones that they get at the house.
Oh, I'm sure. So literally, no part of any animal goes to waste here.
Nothing. Everything is used. Everything is used.
Do you ever do anything with a full cow?
We have brought in quarters. I haven't brought in a full cow yet. You know, as you can see, we're only 50 seats, so we don't have tons and tons and tons of space. But I have brought in quarters from Adirondack grazers, and we bring in like grass-fed hind quarters and front quarters and use those. You're
making me hungry. That's awesome. How about vegetarian dishes for anybody who's a vegetarian?
Well, I do a lot of vegetarian stuff too. When I was out in Colorado for about 3 years, I ran a vegetarian restaurant out there. So my veggie cooking has really come up a lot, which has helped all of my cooking. But we always run one vegetarian entree on our menu, and we change that up probably about every 6 weeks and get a new one on there. And then we have lots of stuff in the appetizer department sides.
You said you had some training in Colorado. Tell us a little bit about your work history.
So I'm originally from Michigan. Grew up in Michigan, South Haven, little beach town. Moved to Grand Rapids. Fell into love with cooking in Grand Rapids. And then talked to my chef there. He sent me to Atlanta, and I worked in Atlanta for 3 years. Talked to that chef. He sent me to New York. He was like, if you're going to cook, you got to come to New York City, And so I've been here off and on for the past 9 years. I did have a little 3-year stint where I went to Colorado to get a breath of fresh air and get a little mountain, a little fly fishing, and that's when I ran a Latin American restaurant and a vegetarian restaurant for the same group.
You have quite the history. I mean, you've been all over.
A lot of different places, and I've definitely checked out all different areas. New York is always my favorite, and it always brings me back to New York. But I do love the rest of our country too.
I feel like you're like the most appropriate executive chef here because you have that country feel, and you bringing it here to New York, keeping it nice and organic and humble and quaint. It's wonderful.
Yes, and this is your true farm to table restaurant. We really are using our local farmers and using stuff all from New Jersey and New York and Long Island and Connecticut, and we're going to the green market 3-4 times a week, and it's the true meaning of farm to table, which I find sometimes the name gets thrown around a lot, and we're really doing it here.
So that's probably frustrating when someone's saying, oh, farm to table, and you're like, listen here, I'm breaking down every bit of that pig in my own kitchen.
It is a little frustrating, but I would say, too, at least they're bringing the name out there, and people are finding out, well, what is this farm to table thing? So it does help us, but we're really doing it here, so it's super exciting for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, down in that kitchen, some crazy things must be happening.
Yes, some crazy things do happen, and I do remember telling a story to Batman a while back that didn't happen in this kitchen, but it did happen about 10 years ago when I was in Atlanta.
I'm dying to hear the story.
So I had some troubles with some soft-shell crabs. There's these crabs that are beautiful crabs, awesome blue crabs, and every May when they have the first full moon, they molt their skin, so you have these soft-shell crabs, you can eat the whole thing. So we were tempura frying them, and they have a little pocket of air in them sometimes that blows up. So when you're frying them and it heats up, it popped, and this oil comes flying right at me. And so I backed up so I didn't get the oil and slipped and then knocked the back of my head on the back of this counter and was out on the kitchen floor, in the middle of service, crazy busy restaurant. So we had to get up real quick, shook it off and was like, okay, back to cooking, let's go.
What does Executive Steve Dustin do on his day off aside come back to work so he can talk to us?
Right. Steve Dustin, he likes to do a little fishing. I like to ride the motorcycle around. I take on long trips, head up the Hudson Valley and check out a little farm area. The other thing I'm married. I have a wife who's a beautiful modern dancer, so I go to a lot of shows with her. And we have 2 children, which are both dogs. And one's a very large 85-pound boxer, and we have a little pit bull rescue. And so lots of playing in the park with the puppies.
Going to be little chefs running around your kitchen?
There is the possibility. We don't know yet. Just kind of depends on how much time I got, what's going on with her dancing career, and the chef industry is not the easiest industry to be having kids, so we'll see. It's a toss-up.
Well, we're hoping. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today and giving us a little piece of you, and this restaurant is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. And for all of you out there who want the true from farm to table food, you've got to come here and check out his food.
Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.